Don't get married to an idea. So that doesn't happen, it hurts you then. Don't get attached. Detachment is actually the true philosophy. Somebody had asked me a long time back, so how does it feel to be successful? I said, as long as I'm chasing, I'm trying to happen. Where is the success? So there's no destination called success. When you go in Silicon Valley, I can feel that rhythm. The idea development in the country is always a mirage.
Again, this happened with me in Silicon Valley, where I was part of, shaping up innovation practices for larger companies. But what needs to happen? How do you see fulfillment?
Fulfillment automatically comes if there's a peace.
How do you think about AI and what role does it have today and what it does not serve?
I think AI has been long due. We were promised that in 70s, that 80s your tea will be solved by a robot. So I've been quite frankly very disappointed with the progress and the pace.
Is there any question that you feel is worth asking that nobody has asked you?
See, the problem is when you are in.
In this video, I talked to Singh about looking inside. What is it that you actually want to do? Ingredients to keep in mind as true way of doing things according to him, from his lived experience and from creating Nihilent Technologies. What LC said when someone asked him, how does it feel to be successful back in the day? Why did he choose to write his latest book? How does he see fulfillment? How does he see AI and the emotions that make us human, which AI doesn't feel? How I felt so emotionally attached to a venture back in the day. We also talk about the need for environment of innovation in India, learning from the rhythms of Silicon Valley, from his and my experience as well. Message to entrepreneurs and those building the ecosystem. See you inside. This is Nitin Dua serving you with love. If you could look how far you've come, particularly in the context of the venture that you created, Nihilent, what would you attribute that to?
I've never come, by the way, anywhere. I'm saying it's like a...
Or the value that you create for people.
River bed hoti hai na? It doesn't move. Okay? The water flows. So my life is settled like the river. Flow hota hai, whatever I'm saying, action I've taken, there's a flow. I'll allow the spontaneity. That's it.
So if people want to learn from your lived experience and this flow, particularly in the context...
That's why I've written the book.
Yes, they will come to it. Please go ahead and check it out. But
please.
In one moment, I want to understand the value creation that you did. Maybe not for your own self entirely, but for the people that you engage with.
I feel good about it.
Yeah, you feel good about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if somebody has to take that learning of many years of you operating like that, and they are at the initial juncture right now, what can they, besides the Vasudev Kutumbakam aspect, is there anything that they can, and also, as you already mentioned, not doubting, is there anything else that's an important ingredient that you want the folks to remember?
See, only thing I'm saying, don't get married meaning not marriage. Don't get married to an idea. So that doesn't happen, it hurts you then. Okay. Now you'll say you're talking about Buddhism, but that's the truth. That emotions will come, career will come, but allow it. Don't get attached. Detachment is actually the true philosophy, true way of doing things. And so somebody actually somebody had asked me a long time back. So how does it feel to be successful? I said, you think I'm successful? As long as I'm chasing, I'm trying to happen. Where is the success? So there's no destination called success. Okay, and that's the illness. You are able to feed your family well. You're not happy. Still, you're not at peace.
Yes.
Okay, you belong. You're admired. You have children. Everything, and still you're not peaceful. Okay.
No, and I feel because to be honest, as you were speaking, I'm trying to be fully present with you.
Sure.
But it reminded me of that time when I was married to something so deeply.
Right.
And when it didn't happen in the way I anticipated, the attachment really brought different emotions that I didn't learn by that time.
One thing I have to do there. Writing a script has one advantage. When you write a script, number one, you write in present tense always. Okay. So it's never a past. Events you are witnessing and writing. By definition.
Okay.
Script is in present tense always. Okay, the boy gets up and walks to the door. It will never return the boy. Whole story ho gaya aapka.
Yeah, got it.
So all I'm saying is that there is a certain amount of drama, okay, which you will have to witness, not your choice. Okay, but you look inside that what is it that actually want you to do. Don't be victim to just being a billionaire or objective is always in monetary terms. That's never been my objective.
Yeah. No, I mean, and
Define yourself, na?
define yourself.
Define yourself and create that peace. Yeah, that's all. Once you're peaceful, then the whole world looks beautiful.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And so I know the book is coming out, as you said.
It's already there.
Why did you choose to write it now, and why put it out now?
That was basically, I would say again, destiny. So one day out of blue, a retired, basically newspaper sub-editor approached me saying that LC, she's from Pune. So she came to me and she knows me for a long time, at least 30 years nahi ho gaya. So she said, LC, why don't you write? There's so much you have done. Okay, why don't you write? I never thought, by the way, it never occurred to me what I've done till now. Okay, but I think she reminded me, I think it's worth writing. And I said, tum likho. I'll tell you this, but I don't have so much time. She said that, give me 1 week total. Okay, in parts. But total 1 week of yours, and I'll write. I said, okay, start writing. So it didn't happen that I'm saying destiny plays a role. Somebody, I didn't ask her. So she came, she wrote 20 pages to me based on what description I had given to her in first sitting. So I didn't like it because that's not how I lived the life. No.
That's not how you see you have lived the life.
Yeah, so I'm saying that is not, in retrospect or whatever, because that experience of joy and being that what you were doing, she was not able to capture.
Yeah.
So she said, I told her, this is not, I don't want adulation. There's nothing to be adulation about. There's so many big benchmarks, success ka, that nobody can ever benchmark himself and say they're supreme. Okay. If that was so, why would Jesus Christ be, crucified? So all I'm saying is that allow yourself expressed. So what is your passion inside, which naturally makes the time disappear?
Yeah.
So any act where the time and space disappears is the thing you should be doing.
Oh, that hits so much and hits home. And my coach Samir, who had a lot of labels, went past from being a C-suite executive with wonderful degrees, transitioned to being in flow with work he finds meaning in. And I'm so grateful for my own transition in this journey. If you are a professional and looking to go past these labels, transition to meaningful work, it deserves attention. You deserve attention. I invite you to check out duanitin.com. Link is in the description below, and connect with us. On that note, I also want to understand your perspective on fulfillment. How do you see fulfillment?
Fulfillment automatically comes if there is a peace. Because your desires and everything have taken backseat. So you're not obsessed. You do work. You have an objective. We have been a patent MCQ on that. But define an objective and then pursue people, process, technology, change together. And that's how things should happen.
All these years that you've lived, is there any question that you feel is worth asking that nobody has asked you? What is that question?
See, the problem is when you are in peace, all this relevance of these things just go away. So the question doesn't even arise in my mind. Because there's something I still have to. As I said, I think elsewhere also, that to me, the most pleasuresome time I spend is when I'm learning something new. So I admit I don't know everything. Okay? So, and that gives such an opportunity, such a beautiful moment. You are learning something which you never knew about.
What are you learning about now?
Right now I have to launch 2 products. two of my books, okay, and run the company also. So it's fairly busy time.
And how do you think about AI? You're in the midst of technology. All this is playing out.
Yeah.
What
Also writing a script.
script on AI?
Yeah. No. On a movie.
It's a movie.
Yeah.
Okay. I won't ask what that movie is about.
Yeah,
I'll
don't.
let that play out on its own time.
Really, yeah.
But I just want to get the parting thoughts on your views on what's on everybody's mind at the moment, AI. How do you think about AI and what role does it have today and what it does not serve?
I think AI has been long due. We were promised that in 70s.
Yeah.
That 80s your tea will be solved by a robot.
Yeah.
So I've been quite frankly very disappointed.
Yeah.
With the progress and the pace.
And so is Jan. I mean, he said, there have been multiple repetitions. I've been saying it for 3 years.
Exactly. So now I have very decent relationship with AI.
Okay.
Tools, and also realization that's only the half story. So if I'm talking about humanizing technology, how do I also humanize the technology? So AI, if that is the technology, how do I humanize it? And hence, what makes us human? Emotions, which AI can never do it.
Never.
Because it can't feel. Humans feeling starts with feeling.
Yeah.
Okay, which AI will never. They cannot feel. They can simulate, but they will not feel. So they will never have that pleasure of existence. That's the problem. Sheer pleasure of.
And do you think it's never?
It's infeasible, I'm saying. Because machine cannot have emotions. I can simulate it to look like, but it won't be. What actually I wish that if I had more time in life, should create an environment of innovation. AI is just one. We have all the brain in the country, the entire opportunity, very stable government, sensible people at the helm. They want to, intent is there. But somewhere I'm saying that ecosystem is not developing. Okay? That, for instance, when you go in Silicon Valley, I can feel that rhythm. Even 3 days I go and I can feel different. So I can't even put my hand on, but there is that rhythm. Unless that happens, the idea development in the country is always a mirage.
A mirage. So I was grateful. Again, this happened with me in Silicon Valley, where I was part of, shaping up innovation practices for larger companies, both in large companies as well as startup ventures. But what needs to happen? I mean, there's a lot that's shifting right now in the way we see India.
Oh, initiatives are
what
going
needs
on.
To happen so that
people are, there's a lot of funds now from Government of India for startups and MSMEs and all. But frankly, that the intent from top is there, but the machinery, bureaucracy, machinery.
Are you able to do something within your construct, given that you have access to capital, people, and things? Is there something that you are putting things towards?
No, I don't have that kind of power to be able to do that. Okay. I'm being frank. The means which is required to do that.
What is required?
The means, basically.
What is means here?
Means is basically you are saying that first to create the environment that people stop chasing $1 billion company. Okay, that's number one. That message is for entrepreneurs. Don't chase that.
Please,
that will happen.
If any entrepreneurs here, please do pay attention to this message. Whatever it means to you, the chase just never stops, right?
But chase should not be, I'm saying, measured in
billions of dollars.
Yeah. Change should be that what is the effect you created.
Yes.
Your technology, what did it create? Second thing is, I'm saying, educating the PEs of India. I'm not referring outside. Venture capitalists of India, PEs of India. They have to be also, I'm saying, play a big role in being available, guide them. So the idea is that the ecosystem takes lots of things. Okay? And that tulip gardens, Amsterdam is not the only place it could have grown. could have happened anywhere. But they created the entire mechanism and ecosystem to nurture. That's how they could. That's true for almost everything. Yeah. So I'm saying that the creation of environment where funds are available on the quality of thinking. Now I'm saying there are TV programs, but that's more for drama. Okay, than actually they help the people. And Ty and all are doing good job. They're mentoring and all. I also agreed to participate in design thinking that they want to do.
So what you're saying is there's probably need for more script than stories.
Yeah, you need action now.
Yeah, I hope. And by the way, none of us, with this disclaimer, we are not judging what has happened. We're just putting out our perspective.
No, absolutely.
You take whatever you can, but hopefully we can be in action, writing the script.
Absolutely.
Whoever feels that they can be in that space to nudge.
So in the end, I would say that to me, the life has been fun.
Fun.
Absolutely. And within that fun, one of the most enjoyable moments were when I was learning something new. Whether photography, whether script writing, whether story, whether creating IPs and products, whether marketing passionately about something you believe in. And so I'm saying that, yes, there will be sine curve going up and down, but then it makes you richer.
Yeah.
If you experience only good things in life, then you're not complete. So I think that's my message, that don't be scared of something if it's at this moment adverse to your ideas.
Sure.
Okay? The time changes. Okay? Again, your moment will come. So have that confidence from inner, that if you have a conviction, then I think you'll succeed. Rest then will follow, because there is enough material to learn almost on anything.
Anything, yeah.
Basically. So we are living in a blessed time. And I think capitalize on that and create one of the most enviable industry right in India.
Yeah, no, that's a beautiful note to sort of end this on. And I must say, thank you for being very gracious with your time. I requested 30 minutes, but we have.
I didn't even look at it.
Yeah, so that's the beauty of. For me also, just flowing with time.
Sure. No.
And I'm grateful that you felt this way.
Sure.
So thank you for this time.
My pleasure.
Again, this is Nitin Dua, serving you with love. So here are a few moments of my gratitude, and I promise to keep this under a minute. Thank you for being here. What you see now on the screen are kind words from one of my coachees, who's a US-based executive, and he transitioned from playing a technical role as a senior director in a large corporate to now building his new creative venture that he finds meaning in. I'm so proud of him and what he's creating, and appreciate his genuine feelings expressed through his testimonial here as we worked in the coaching journey together and explored the setbacks, self-trust, identity, and the next chapter for him and his venture's creation and the go-to-market. If you're a senior professional aspiring to transition to something that's meaningful to you, I welcome you to check duanitin.com to see my own transition and of many others and connect with us. Link is in the description below.